Welcome to the Snooze Cast.
Good
It's
one.
the fellas again, and
We're
we're back for another video episode. And appreciate you guys listening, and also thank you for listening to the last episode. We're running into some, well, not running into. We ran into some technical issues with Nathan's audio for the last episode. So it's it's made, or it's pretty much good, but. Tell the people what happened, young Nathan.
Well, technical difficulties. We're going to use lightly. Basically, I messed up.
Wait, what side are you on for me? So if I look this way, would I be looking at you, or is it?
No,
this
you're
way?
on the right of me. So if you turn to the right, then you're looking at me.
You fool! Absolute fool!
I have to remember because
Perfect.
I can't remember which cameras are reverse on phones. Is it the
It's gonna
front
be
camera?
hilarious.
That's reversed? No, it's the back camera that's reversed.
Yeah, it's gonna be funny because on the video, I just knowing our luck, you're gonna be over here, and I'm gonna be like, haha, dipshit.
I'm gonna move us
And
last
I'm gonna arrange it, and then I'm just gonna be like, you know what? I'll do this. Ha! I could be talking to both of you.
Ha, I'm gonna look straight up.
Oh, I know. And then it just turns into fucking Halo live games, and you're just like,
Joke's on you, I'm not even here.
yeah, joke's on you. I'm looking around, and I look schizophrenic.
It's an
Just doing this,
animation.
Dude, I wish I could. Well, it's one of those things. I really wish I was a more talented drawer. That way, animation would be easier. Not saying that animation would be impossible for me, but I definitely, I think animation is a highly, highly underrated, skill
Medium.
because, obviously, when you're drawing, people just, there's just a lot of amazing stuff out there, but then to take that to the next level in terms of making it move and giving it life,
Yeah,
and
to
being able to
keyframe
edit that.
Yeah. Keyframing
And there's not really a lot of
animation
return,
is
you know?
bad. It takes
Yeah.
so much time. It's ridiculous.
And there's not, and you don't really get a whole lot back, especially when a lot of people put stuff on YouTube. There's not a whole lot of return on.
Actually, there was a really big.
investment.
There was a lot of outcry when the YouTube algorithm switched from the amount of videos, I think it was, or how many. I think they switched from likes to watch time. They started focusing more on watch time, so the more
like retention.
for attention. And
Yeah.
because animations take so long, most animation videos were usually in the range of 1 to 3 minutes, right around there. And this is when they were trying to push 10-minute videos. When they started pushing 10-minute
Right.
videos, that's where everyone started memeing it. Well, animation videos got basically just pushed under the rug completely. They got
Yeah.
steamrolled, and they were really pissed off about that one, rightfully so. They're spending like months of work to do the videos that they do, and they don't even get pushed through the algorithm anymore. Now the algorithm is,
Yeah.
I think, like based and watch time based.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely ever changing and ever evolving because the point is to just let it.
But also Flash is dead
Kind of.
now too, so
Flash?
Flash media player or
Oh, yeah. Okay. For a second, I was like, the Flash? Like Barry
not
Allen?
the Flash.
The Flash is dead?
The original animation
I doubt it.
suite. Flash.
Um,
those are some good old days, man. Back in the
Yeah.
Flash player. And now I don't know what people use now. I think most people I want to assume they use Adobe Premiere
Hang on. 9/11 is
or Animate.
like occurring outside my apartment. No, seriously, like 3 fire trucks just back to back to back are like, and it's just kind of like driving by. So the first one comes by and I'm like, second one I'm like, what the fuck? And obviously I had to take a look outside of the third one. So
I saw.
real quick,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt,
You're
but a couple weeks ago, dude, somebody was legit like drifting in the fucking parking lot of my apartment complex, like Tokyo Drift, like. So
That's the good
I
shit.
get out. I actually completely forgot about this because it was happening at like 3 a.m. and I woke up in my drunken sleep, and I'm like, what the fuck? Because I hear, and I'm like, what? Am I dreaming? Is this a dream? And I'm like touching. I'm like, I pick up like my fucking air freshener. I'm like, and I'm kind of like doing like squeezing it. I'm like, is this real? And I look outside and I just see this car like, and it's just like doing these fucking spinneroonies, and I'm like, what? And dude, my first reaction when I realize I'm not dreaming, I fucking open up my laptop, blast the music, boop, 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 boop. Tokyo! I can't play it on this platform.
Are you gonna get copyrighted just for singing those three notes?
Nah, yeah, we get bazoinged off of YouTube because of I hit some 3 notes of my own.
People have been copyrighted for a singular note.
I think it's such like you could
it
reference.
Happens.
Well, it's not gonna happen to us just because we're so little. Like,
and that's exactly why it'll happen. YouTube hates small creators.
Dude, they want to push us down.
Basically,
make us eat shit. Anyway, so just a little bit of housekeeping real quick. If you're watching, don't forget to follow us on our social mediums and be checking us out. So the YouTube channel is the Snooze Cast, so the space Snooze Cast, one word. And yeah, you can find all our videos there for future reference. And then I have been on Instagram on the Cult Classic 97 profile doing, I wouldn't say daily because there's been a couple days here and there where I just haven't gotten to do it, but basically making, little musical skits. They're not really anything where you can hear me doing any dialogue. There are a couple where I could work it in, but basically the trick I haven't figured out yet is, having the music in the background while I'm able to say whatever
right.
it is. But it definitely has allowed me to get a little bit more creative with just facial expressions and face acting. Like there's
TikTok's on Instagram. That's what you're doing.
Basically, yeah. So I haven't completely converted yet to TikTok, but
this is the first step.
Yeah. This is how man falls. This is the moment where he.
Was it you that I was talking about? I was talking to somebody about TikTok is actually the best platform right now for discoverability.
Yep, that was me.
Yeah.
And I have the app. It's there.
You just
and I have played with it.
Just got to pull the trigger. Just do it.
Yeah. And what's funny is there's a creator on TikTok, and he originates from Instagram. Like all this stuff is on Instagram, and then he kind of just puts it, reposts on TikTok. Is Andrew Russo, and he is at a point where, so he actually followed me on Instagram a long time ago because I saw a skit he did about, it's called Bro Jogan, and it's about this guy that pretends to not know who Joe Rogan is, even though at the end of the video it shows him worshiping him. And again, it's like comedy skits, and I was like, shit, that's funny. I want to follow him on Instagram. So I do it, and he follows me back, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I just kind of message him thinking like, thanks for the follow, not really expecting him to actually answer me. And he goes like, oh, thanks, and sends me a message. I'm like, oh shit. So and then anything else, if a video really sticks out, I'll message him something, and he'll say something back. So so it's kind of oh
Open
shit,
up the doors. There you go.
It's cracking it open. So what the fuck is happening outside? Can you hear that?
I can.
Wow, dude. There's hot. Hang on. I'm gonna. You can catch people up to what you're doing. I'm gonna step outside because if you guys can see here, there's my sliding glass door, and I'm gonna step out for a quick second while Nate catches up anyone on what you guys are up to. Just give me 2 seconds.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I gotta see what's going on. This is wild.
Fucking reporter Colton on the scene over there.
Man.
News Channel 7.
Open my door.
Me, I've been taking it easy. I've been working for the most part, so nothing really important. I finally left my jobs. for anyone out there. Finally being at home, kind of just taking it easy for a little bit. I guess sort of a weird staycation. Just sort of re-getting my bearings a little bit and just sort of taking it easy. I never really got to relax from 2020, so I don't think a lot of people did. So I'm taking the advantage right now and just kicking back, relaxing, not worrying about life. So, Reporter Colton, what is it like on the scene? What's happening?
You can't really see anything. I could see like cars piling up, but like my angle is like there's another apartment that's kind of like got its balcony just a little bit ahead of me.
Right.
So I can't like peek around the corner.
But we know it's in a car accident.
Yeah, something. Yeah, and I could smell smoke. Yeah.
Oh yeah, those are. I've seen a couple trucks on my way to work sometimes that were like completely like on fire.
Dude, remember that one time you were picking me up from work and on the way back?
Yeah.
Dude,
the car that flipped over into the hill.
And it was in flames. It was completely engulfed in fire, and it's really scary because like there's
we didn't see the guys at all.
Yeah, there's an extremely high chance that somebody or many people, whoever, no, they died.
Survived. They survived that one. It was posted on a group, Facebook group that I'm a part of. The few times that I ever am on Facebook, that was one of the times.
Wait, you found out about? Oh, wow,
I did.
Because I like searched on the news for like a couple days, and like I just couldn't. So I kind of gave up on it. But that's interesting. That
the news isn't a very good source of news. Facebook, social media is a much better source of news sometimes.
Well, for something like that, yeah.
When you're part of like a group of people that are like more connected, then it's definitely a better source of news. But they survived. The people that were the two dudes that were driving that thing. They were hot rodding it around apparently and flipped it, and then they just ran off in the hills. I guess they left it. If I remember the story correctly, this is.
Well, like, this is by the mall, Like, I don't know where they could, like, run off to exactly. I mean, like, because there's not really... I guess you could go down past the mall if they, like, lived in apartments back there. But, like, yeah. It was wild because we're driving by and, like, it was just, like, a scene out of a movie. It was totally flipped over and the entire thing was on fire. Like, it was fucking wild.
No, I've seen car crashes happen, like, on the spot before, too. I remember I
think Garber told me he saw somebody in a motorcycle hit something and go flying into the air.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one before, but he's told me about that one. No, I got to see a T-Bone live. That was fun. I think I was driving. I think I was getting lunch or something. It was in high school because I remember being in the Suzuki, and I think it was with my ex.
Good old Suzuki.
And we saw these two cars just fucking T-bone. You know the intersection right by the school that goes into the McDonald's?
Yeah.
So, right before the hill. So we saw two cars T-bone over in there. And, that was a really weird, awkward... It was just silent in the car the whole time. It was like, well, we just, we saw that happen.
Witnessed that. Yeah.
And, like, it's funny because you think of, like, how a car crash sounds, and it sounds nothing like that.
Yeah, it's
short.
It's very short. It's like I've only seen somebody get like rear-ended, but it was like pretty loud, and it was like whoa, like and I didn't really see it all the way. Like I kind of was like looking down at my phone or something, and I kind of see it. I was not driving; it was my mom driving. For anyone, you're a part of the problem. But I was, looking at my phone, but I could see up in my peripheral. Like two cars kind of really close together, and as I'm like looking up, I see them just crunch, and it's like a really quick like just crunching kind of thud, and it's like
definitely a crunching sound.
Yeah. And you're and like the only reaction I have is just like whoa, like I saw something cool, but it's like oh well,
holy shit.
And I've never been in a car crash myself, and so
I've been in a few.
Oh yeah, I know.
I think I've been in a total of 3.
3? Wow.
3. I got in one. Damn. I got in one with the Suzuki. I was rear-ended, and then
was it like bad or was it like a bump?
It was bad.
Oh really?
The Suzuki was fine. The Suzuki is a fucking tank, dude. People like to talk smack about the Suzuki Sidekick. Oh, it's a weak little car. No, that thing's built fucking strong, man.
Dude. I like that car. That was a fun little car.
It was a great little car. It survived that rear ending. Well, It was funny because I think it was a Jetta that rear-ended me, and the Jetta was completely fucked. That Jetta was done for.
I bet it's a
basically
little satisfying. It's just kind of like, fucking asshole. Like,
no, because I knew the kid.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
He was racing
Bummer.
somebody over. He was racing somebody over a hill and didn't see me stopped because I was stopped because some idiot in front of me was turning and into a weird side street because I knew what they were doing. They were trying to like shortcut the traffic, so I had to slow down. And then the person behind me, I can't remember his name, but he just completely just wails right into the back of me.
It was Jake Stew. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I don't know if he was in the tech center. Maybe he was. I don't remember. Anyway, but then the second one was me in the Honda, which we know very well. Me running into the back of the Honda. Not running into the back of running into the back of a truck with a Honda. That never ends well, by the way. That's always a losing story.
And then like the story behind the guy itself, the
dude was a fucking prick
on the other end was a total fucking douchebag.
Yeah, he was a real
dude. Anytime I have a friend that has like these types of stories where they're dealing with people like this, I'm like, why am I never there? Like, it's not like me not believing any of these stories, but it's just kind of like, dude, man, I just wish I was there to like
witness
say it. Something, do something, just kind of be like, yo, bitch, like, what the fuck is? I did have a. Well, I'll let you finish your story.
I didn't have any problem telling him off. He was, after.
Well, right, it's not that, but it's just kind of like, I don't know. I just hear like my friend.
We got to be there to support the homies.
Yeah, dude, you got to be there for the squad. Boys. Yeah. I mean, technically, I was down the street because it was not far from our house that this happened.
No, but it was pretty early. It was pretty early.
It's funny because like at that house and with the cars that were in in our driveway, you could hear all of them from like down the street, and you're like, oh man, Nathan.
The Saab was loud, the Geo was loud, the Honda was loud, the other Honda was loud, the Audi never was really loud.
Well, it was like sort of loud, but
the Audi
it was just more distinct.
Yeah.
Like you could tell, like you could kind of like, well, especially with the little turbo, it was like,
yeah, the blow off valve on the Audi is stupid loud. That's the only thing that gives it away. The exhaust on it isn't very loud. It's fun. Yeah, it's a nice loud.
Yeah, it's
the
not
Honda
like
Honda was a nice loud too, though. Usually when you put an exhaust on a Honda, it doesn't sound the greatest. But for whatever reason, that little green car had, in my opinion, the best sounding exhaust that I have ever heard. It was nice. It was so nice.
I really was hoping that car would like live to a certain point because I just wanted it. I was like, dude, I want that car.
I know it was such a great little car. I really want to get another one for nostalgia reasons, but that's going to be like further down the future.
I bet that guy that had it on Facebook Marketplace still has it up. That when we were looking that one time.
Is it the yellow one?
No, it was a green one. The same exact like yours, but they wanted like $8,000 or some shit.
Yeah,
like
he
that.
wanted some stupid price. I'm pretty sure the yellow one's probably still there too because no one wants it.
I mean, yeah, just no one wants it because it's yellow,
Well, it was that yellow? It had like a body kit and it was ugly. It was an ugly little thing,
dude. Anyway, so again, took care of some housekeeping and all that good stuff, and I hope you guys have had a nice week of work and all that stuff, especially since we are in the full swing of 2021, and the reason I know that is now when I'm writing on anything that requires me to put a date on it, I'm remembering to put 21 instead of 20. So that is when you really are in the new year, is when you remember these things. So yeah. The next kind of thing on the agenda is last week on the Snooz Cast, we kind of put out a request for like, hey guys, you should do some questions, and we want to get a little bit of listener engagement. Now, I didn't really follow through with actually putting any promotional stuff out there to remind people, especially when we only have like an average 10 to 12 downloads per episode, which is a nice little fire, a nice little camp kind of smolder, but definitely should have been like, let's remind some people. So we got some. We got some from a friend of mine, and what we'll do is, I'll rattle these off, and we'll obviously give our little spiels on each, and then, go from there. Because these types of questions are more kind of get to know yous or debate type stuff. So we're definitely gonna get into debate club. So
I should have been in debate club. Honestly, I think I would have done well.
I thought some of the people in debate club were some of the most fucking
Posh.
Posh and wow, there's this word I'm looking for. Pretentious. It was a P word. Just
I think some
pretentious,
of them.
Oh, you are quick witted. Fuck you. And I'm like me, but it's me. I'm a little monkey brain. Fuck you. I'm not as good as saying words as you. Ooh ooh ooh.
Some of them, but I have one of the boys in the main squad was in the debate club, I think. So
Ryder?
No, I think it was Eric.
Really? He doesn't ever talk. That's surprising. No.
I think, if I remember high school correctly, but that high school.
I thought it was Ryder. I'm almost certain it was Ryder.
No. Ryder and I did. What the fuck is it called? Mock trial. We did mock trial.
That's what it was. Okay, I knew Ryder was in something.
I remember that because when we went out to Caldwell, where I live now, we got to the courthouse and they're like, yeah, so everyone's got to stay inside. We just had a stabbing right outside the courthouse. Like, oh, great, welcome to Caldwell.
Dude, someone got
fucking
good.
You're in fucking. I think it was sophomore year or junior year, something like that. And the first thing that we get when going out to Caldwell was, yep, someone just stabbed. Sorry. I'm like, you got to stay inside. It's like, yeah, well, what do you expect?
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Nice.
Okay, so we're going to hop into these questions. So the first one I will ask here is, Nathan, what is the scariest moment of your childhood? Most traumatizing, scary.
This gets deep because this explains my fear of water. Or at least large bodies of water, I should say. I'm not scared of water. I'm fucking drinking it. But I don't like boats, and I don't like large bodies of water. I don't swim in lakes. I don't swim in oceans. I'll float the river, and that's about it.
Wow, that's interesting because I did not know this.
Yeah. So
I realize now that the only time I have seen you in water is in the Boise River.
Yeah, but on a raft only. I don't swim it. I will,
yeah.
And that's why it's also why I got the big mattress as well, because it's such a large flotational device. And if I'm the only person,
that's actually a risque move, if I say so myself. You got a fucking bed, an air mattress bed, and on the Boise River isn't fast and dangerous exactly.
No,
but there's definitely some certain parts that are like, oh wow, this is definitely sketchy.
But see, the bed was the best part. Anybody that's done the Boise River or has floated any lazy river and has done it on an air mattress, if you haven't, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun, and you get a lot of space. But no, so I had this really bad fear of large bodies of waters and boats, especially. So
boats and hoes.
So the trauma for me comes from a rafting trip that I was on as a kid, and so what happened was it was our neighbor at the time. They would like to do whitewater rafting, and they had one of the bigger raft boats with the paddles that you could put 7 people on.
Oh yeah, right? One of the legit ones.
We had a small little fleet going on. It was pretty cool.
A little squad.
Yeah, a little squad going on. And so what happened was we get to the location and we get started. Now, one of the first rapids that you hit on this route was called Go Left, right? Because you're supposed to go left.
Must be big fans of NASCAR.
Right? Well, our guide had, I don't know if he forgot or if he just realized too late or something, but we had gone dead center or slightly right. Well, the reason why this is called Go Left is because the first initial entrance into the rapid, there's this huge rock in the middle.
Oh, really?
Of the river.
Yeah.
And so what happened was we went over the rock and we went vertical and flipped over. Right? And so...
Yikes.
So me being a little kid, right?
Yeah.
This is already...
How old were you again?
I don't remember. I think I was like maybe 9,
Like 10,
9 or 10,
okay.
somewhere in there. I was young.
Okay,
Young,
so somewhere
yeah,
in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, this is traumatizing for anybody. Really.
Yeah.
Anyway,
True.
so we get the raft flips on top of itself, and as a kid, I don't know what the hell is going on. All I know is we were upside, and now we're upside down, and now I'm in the water. Not only am I underwater, but I don't know which direction I need to go to get out, and I'm stuck underneath the raft. So what happened?
Damn.
Yeah, it gets worse. So I was sitting underneath that raft for what felt like an absolute eternity, and it got to the point where I couldn't hold my breath any longer. My brain was telling me, you have to breathe, you have to breathe, you have to breathe. And so what my body did in response to this was it tried to breathe water. Well, this is how you drown, and it's not fun. It hurts a lot. And it's one of the worst feelings that I've ever felt in my entire life was breathing in water.
Yeah, because it's like not only that, but your body's been holding out.
Yeah.
And so it's not a normal, like, it's more like like you're taking it all in.
Yeah. No, and you're in such like a survival and like terrified state that you don't know what to do, and everything's mixed up. And for real, I thought I was done for, right? And I'm sitting there like contemplating my life as in like a kid, just like, so this is how I go.
All my bionicles, shit.
No, but I was sitting there, I was thinking, it's like, so this is how I go out. And it's like, it seemed like right before, like, I decided to just like, call it quits. I like hit a rock or something underneath, and I feel the raft go right over me. And the life jacket that I was wearing just instantly skyrockets me up to the top of the surface so I could breathe again. Well, the life vest was what was keeping me under the boat.
Oh, because you're like bobbing.
Because I was bobbing, but I was constantly hitting my head against the raft. But because the raft was underwater, I couldn't like get up enough to breathe, and I was confused, so I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I finally get out from underneath the boat, and I'm realizing that, okay, so first vomit out the water. That feels horrible. And once you vomit out, like breathing in water and then vomiting it out, it sucks because it feels like it tears up your entire like internal like chest.
Yeah, because you're not like really throwing up anything like it's not
from the stomach, it's from your lungs.
Yeah.
It's not it's something that's not supposed to be there, and you're ejecting it out. Anyway, after that, which I remember being very painful, I remember I was just highly confused, and I was looking for where I was supposed to go, and I see down, and I still have like the full rest of the rapids left to go. So I have to like basically swim through this, holding on for dear life to this life jacket as I sort of bob my way through.
Dude,
I mean, what was nice about this was at least I could breathe, and I was again, I was up in the air to like contemplate what the fuck just happened to me, and try to come to terms with it.
Shit.
My sister got really banged up from it. She actually, she got tossed into some rocks, and she had a whole bunch of cuts and bruises, and they had to pull her out. My brother, I think, was okay. I think he had a couple cuts, but he was traumatized as well. It traumatized us all, really.
Yeah, definitely not a fun, like, well, we're just a typical family going out for just nice, fun rafting trip.
Well, and then after we like regrouped, we stopped at like the first sandbank to like get everybody like back, into shape and just like calm everybody down and like reorient ourselves. And what you realize is that you still have to go through the rest of the rapids. You still have the rest of the trip that you have to do.
It's not over yet, son.
It's like that was the first one. We still have like 4 more left to go through, and like 3 hours of raft time, because there's no way to pull the rafts out where they're at. You have to continue the journey, and so I went through the whole journey, traumatized as hell. So every single like tiny rapid, I was like like holding on to the like edge of the. I was on the edge of the boat the whole fucking time because if anything happened, I wanted to be the first one out. I did not want to be stuck underneath the damn thing again.
Yeah.
So ever since then, I either refuse or I get really I clam up on boats. Like even if it's like a boat on a lake, I will just immediately clam up. I just can't do it.
Dude, that's definitely a fair response based off of previous experience. Yeah, I mean, this particular thing isn't, I wouldn't say childhood trauma, but is kind of related to water kind of accidents or
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, yeah, in the Boise River, it's not very deep. It's not, the most dangerous set of waters you're going to come across.
Got some points,
but,
though.
I mean, yeah, certain points. Little spooky spook. But this one time in band camp, no, I'm just kidding. So you can never say this one time and not say in band camp if you've seen American Pie. So anyway, I actually watched that movie the other day.
I need to rewatch it. It's been a while since I've seen
very
it.
solid. Very solid soundtrack. Very.
I think I have it
90s.
on DVD, actually.
I think you do, actually.
I got it like for Christmas or something. I remember it being at the old house.
Christmas.
I remember it being at the old house. I might have it somewhere if it didn't get lost in the move.
Yeah. Anyway, so one time I'm floating with my mom and some of her friends, and what happens is we're at a certain point where we kind of veer off to the right, and there's a tree that's been broken and snapped, and like the bottom of it is like pointing up, and I'm going right for it. Obviously not on purpose.
Yeah.
So I'm on the way there, and I'm like, oh shit, trying to like, it's me in this little donut fucking tube thing. Like, well, it's not like a donut. It's the shape
tube.
of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm in one of those, and I'm like, oh my god, like, what the fuck? And I'm like trying to like pedal, and like you're just on a certain, you catch a certain, I don't know what you would call it, current, where it's like it's just pushing you there. It's going fast. So I'm like, oh shit, and I kind of lean back, and I'm like, uh-oh, and I fucking flip backwards.
Ooh.
And I'm like, oh god. So my reactions, fortunately, I was provided through genetics decent
good reaction
reflexes.
Time. Yeah.
And my first thing, I do this, and and because I hate breathing in water, and I hate, like, I could never dive. Like, I don't know how to dive in water, like dive in a pool, and I don't know how to go in without like plugging my nose. I just jump in like this, like cannonball style, still, and I'm 23 years old. So I did this. I'm like, oh shit! I flip backwards and I do this, and I go like this, and then I'm like, and I go down, and like we're going in in like a little, we're headed downward on this point. So because that water, there's like a heavy like stream of water that was like that pushes down further.
Yeah.
I go down the little slide-a-rooney, but this current pushes me down, and I'm like completely submerged, and I'm like nowhere to be found for like 2 seconds. I'm like just totally gone. I'm underwater. I'm like flipping around, and oh wait, I think I may have gone under without plugging my nose because I was protecting my head, and as I'm falling down, I like grab my I don't know why, but I grab my sandals. And I'm like, dude, they were really old, but I just went for them. And I'm like, as I'm like falling backwards, I'm like, oh shit. So I have one hand, I reach out and grab it. I'm like doing this, and and I kind of like bump a couple rocks. Not in like, fortunately, like let's say if I didn't protect my head, I don't think I would have hit it on anything, but I was hitting my elbow on some stuff, and I was rolling around and for a couple seconds totally underwater, and I popped back up, and I'm like, whoa, that was pretty fucking wild. Like, and it's kind of one of those things where like, whoa, shit, that was insane. Like,
Boise River does have some like really sketchy spots. Like the actual like physical rapids that they have they're not like super intense, but if you don't hit them right, you can fuck yourself up. I mean, I remember one time I was on there and it was on one of those narrower sections that gets really fast, but it's also super deep. And I remember I was being stupid, and I was fucking around with a whole bunch of people around us, and I decided to like high five a tree branch because I thought it'd be cool. Gotta impress the ladies, check out this fucking reach, guys.
Yo, I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. I bet this tree's alive. High five.
Right, so I slap it, but I didn't realize we were going pretty fast on this fucking mattress. So I slap it, and it fucking knocks my ass back, and I fall into the water, and this thing's going fast, and it's deep. So I'm like upside down in the water as it's pushing me forward. Get back up, and I'm just like, holy shit! It's cold. Second, it's deep.
Yeah, it's freezing. Yeah,
it's always cold in there.
Like, the crazy thing is, after the winter of 2016, which is probably recorded as one of the worst in Idaho, or I guess Boise area's history, that following spring and summer when it was opening back up, they like delayed it a little bit just because of all the snow that melted.
It was so overfull. It was
bananas.
It was ridiculous.
They're like, nope.
It was so flooded.
Dude, I remember just looking at it. It was so fast. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be kind of like sketchy to go down? But
I was kind of tempted to be like, I kind of want to do it, but at the same time, probably wasn't the best idea.
Well, they didn't. Yeah, they just didn't let anyone do it. They're like, nope, we're not doing it. Like until.
Well, there was a couple people that tried to do it, and then they had to get rescued.
Yeah, because.
And then they put out a sign: if you go in, you're paying for your rescue for us to go out and get you. Essentially,
I'm surprised they let people in to begin with.
Well, they didn't really let people in. They knew they couldn't stop people from doing it. They just put out signs saying, if you do go in and you do need rescued, you're paying for it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Interesting. But anyway, my childhood traumatic thing, scariest thing. It's not. It's very it's all mental. It's all mental damage. It's all like, it was wild. So I have this. My sister has this mouse, way back in the day, and we kind of just, it's like a little pet, you know. And I'm like, shit, like, you know, it's a little mouse. You know, I'll take it out occasionally and like kind of just walk around with it in my hand and like let it kind of crawl around, and like I'd put it down and like let it just, you know, I'd just kind of play with it, be like, dude, look at this little mouse. It's just a little dude. And the other animal we had, though, that I got to play with, we had all kinds of random animals that came through that my dad would get, and we had a ferret. So we got a ferret.
Ferrets are really cool.
And they are pretty dope. His name was Bandit, because he was one of the ones that like had the, you know, the fur was kind of, you know, he looked like a bandit, and also we had a crow. Like, not all at the same time, but like at that same duplex, my dad just fucking came from baseball practice because he was a head coach, and
he's always coming back with a new animal.
Yeah, he's got a crow. Like, we had a dude. Now that I think about it, my dad, we had all kinds of, because we didn't like live on a farm by any means, but he would just show up with the random different animals. Like one time we had this like big fish tank, and it was full of catfish. Like,
catfish are weird.
Yeah, catfish, and we had snakes, and then, you know, I mean, it's kind of part of the reason why I really like animals a lot, because I just had random animals. But anyway, so I got these two particular animals, the ferret and the mouse, and I'm like probably 5 or 6. Like, I'm very young, and I'm just thinking like, like the ferret, he's currently. Oh, no, the mouse was eating his food. Like, the mouse's food. And I'm like, well, I don't know if Bandit's eating today. Like, I wonder, they might be able to, like, share some food. So I get this full-ass grown fucking ferret, and I stick it in the cage with the mouse.
Oh, no.
Yeah, dude, anybody that knows anything about these animals is... they don't get along very well.
Yeah.
It's literally a predator for mice. And I'm just kind of, it's like genetically, like, it's thinking, this is food. It fucking eats it, dude. It eats it in front of me. And I'm sitting there in complete shock. I am like frozen. I have no words.
You're just a fucking kid. Have a friend.
Like, literally, I'm like, like, because they're like eating the food, and they're like kind of stuffing it, like they're like both going for it. And I'm like, they're like sharing. And then like the ferret just goes like, bitch, and like fucking bites him in the neck, and like and kills him. He fucking kills him. And I'm like, And then I do get to a point where I'm like, there's like so much blood. I'm like, I mean, well, in a small area. It's not like everywhere, but
The one mouse with all the fucking blood.
dude, he's fucking yeah, he definitely was eating. So I run out of the kitchen eventually. I'm like, Mom, Bandit's eating the mouse, and she's just like, well, what'd you like? What? Like you put a ferret, and then like my sister didn't know, she was off at like school or something, so we got a different mouse, and then
The classic
switcheroonie.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
Dude. But that like again, it didn't cause any physical damage to me, where it was like, a close call with life or anything like that. But mentally, I was like, oh no, they're buddies, but they're not, and he's eating it.
Yeah,
Like,
you got a reality check real quick.
dude, it fucked me up, man. I was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
I was just so, because like,
Yeah.
you watch all the cartoons where all the animals are friends and stuff, and this one just fucking eats a mouse. So I did not progressively learn the animal like food chain. I just learned it without any fucking
it's just
warning.
0 to
I was
100
like,
real quick.
Dude, for sure.
You're just like, oh, okay, so this is what real life is about. Awesome.
Oh, cool. He just eat the other one. Okay, cool. Well, that
So that's
was
what happened
definitely
with Bambi's mom.
Yeah, got shot.
Oh.
Let's see. Okay, next question here. Okay, so hang on. I went to my answers of the questions. Delete. Somebody sent me a friend request, and I'm like, I don't know who you are. Okay. I gotta do it like this because that's how the meme goes. Aliens. Do they exist, and how advanced are they? Now, while you provide your answer, I drink so much water before this, dude.
You gotta go. I've
Gotta
got it.
go. So we'll be here, but I'll be back.
All right, let's see what I can do with this. Aliens exist. So, I don't know. I like to speculate. I like to think that they do exist in the universe somewhere, not in the world. I don't know if they visited. That's a little bit too far, too deep for me. There's definitely a lot of evidence, a lot of weird shit that goes on that sort of kind of pushes you in the mental direction of, maybe they visited. I have a feeling for sure, at least, there's other possible intelligent life out there. How intelligent it is, though, is the real question. Is it like able to build tools and craft society, kind of smart, or is it just on the starting evolution like trail of learning like the fundamentals, right? So for me it's a yes and no, right? It's yes, I think they do exist, but no in the sense that I don't think there's enough to like solid, like have enough evidence to solidify like yes that there is for sure.
Just kind of using the context of the question, I think I kind of know what your answer was. Basically, like, for me, it's kind of, I don't know how similar the answer is going to be, but for me, just the odds of there not being aliens are far,
they're too slim.
To me, just way more slim that there isn't aliens, just from like when you account for the quintillions of stars and like millions of fucking galaxies and shit.
Yeah.
Like, just the odds. When you're just simple odds, it's just in the favor of some other form of intelligent life being there.
Statistically speaking, there has to be some intelligent life somewhere else in the universe. Well, one of the things that I was talking about was, how do you on defining intelligence, like where are they at? Are they an advanced society, or are they at like more of where we were when we were like starting to evolve, what do we consider intelligence? I think it's more possible that they're at the starting, because the universe is actually fairly young surprisingly for what it is. And we're actually one of the very, like, I guess you could say one of the earlier life forms, dinosaurs being one of the earliest that we know of. Or at least for what we're the most earliest advanced society that we know of today. And the universe is
that
only...
we know of, yeah.
That we know of. And I think, what is it? The universe is only, was it 9 billion years? 12 billion years? Something like that. And supposedly that's really, really young. So we still got a ways to go.
In a way, with like knowing how vast and infinite the universe is,
mm-hmm.
it does feel pretty young. When you could put a number on it, then in that case, you're like, well, it's pretty young. But obviously, when you like really break it down and you kind of keep
and like humans have only existed for like a percentage of a percentage of a percentage amount of that time.
Like a 0.000 endless zeros.
So insignificant of how long we've actually been here for compared to how long the universe has been around. But
what's also possible is like there's been many of civilizations that have just started about as long as us and then ended and then
that's true.
Fucking because to me I think that one of the fun theories I kind of like to think about and kind of just, I wouldn't say I subscribe to it completely, but is the movie Prometheus, which is the prequel to Aliens. Basically the movie itself is about how these more advanced humanoids basically just get to a point in their society where like, all right, well, we're just going to create life on another planet and just kind of like, it's kind of like it's a simulation in a way.
Like their playground sort of a thing. They're gonna play
pretty
God.
much. Yeah, like I do sense, I don't know, to me it's fascinating to think that we're just basically a fucking science project, and
there's also the zoo theory as well, where we're just being watched.
Yeah, I mean, because really, like another thing I find fascinating is when the nuclear stuff, like when we're dropping bombs on each other here down on Earth, right after that, and I know we've mentioned it a few times, right after that, there's a lot more, reported UFO sightings and alien contact. There's nothing before that, not really. I mean, of course, there's like Sumerian, artwork and, all kinds of other stuff throughout.
But then you get to like the ancient aliens and the History Channel at 3 in the morning type stuff.
Yeah.
And it gets a little wacky. The deep end a bit.
It gets a little, definitely goes off the deep end. Cowboys and aliens, and but anyway,
I fucking love it.
I just think that was happening, and they're like, "Oh fuck, they are doing this." Oh, that's bizarre. We didn't expect that to happen. We meant to give this to them as an energy source for them to use for sustainable energy, but I guess they're just gonna fucking blow each other up. Like
they must be really fascinated with how much we hate each other.
Dude, yeah, humans, like, it's literally in our genes. Like, it's just funny how, like, memories and, like, that is a thing that does pass down through genes. So, like, that kind of fucking savage kind of killer warrior gene, like, just keeps going and, like, obviously evolves in certain ways, but there's, like, a basic kind of, it seems, like, intangible, but, like, a basic part of, like, the human kind of, especially with, like, just the way certain leaders that are, like, men in, like, military, it's just kind of like, we're just going to fucking destroy and we're just going to kill. Like, and it's just kind of like, oh, wow.
Yeah, damn, I don't know if we'll ever be able to break out of that, because humans are a tribal sort of species, right? We always find ways to separate ourselves. We have a very hard time trying to sort of, like, share common ideas or share common goals, and or like we can't be one global, like, species. It doesn't work for us. We always find ways to separate each other and differentiate between other, because we're always trying to and it's just the human brain and how it works. We're always trying to find patterns. We're always trying to find different ways to, like, sort things and put things in order, and we're always trying to separate things into smaller pieces all the time, and we always do it with each other as well. I don't think we're ever going to be able to break away from that. Never.
Yeah, I mean, and if it does happen, it's going to be so many. Like we'd have to
take
go
so long.
Well, like, it just have to be like so many generations. It'd
Yeah.
have to nearly endless generations, and also not only that, but we'd have to be heading a certain direction. Like we'd have to
Yeah.
be like trending a certain way. That way, something's happening, and also the genes are being run out of us, basically, of
Yeah.
like those kind of thoughts and like kind of notions.
You essentially have to
Yeah.
completely change the human condition.
Yeah, dude, I know we're getting real bro sciencey on here, and people are probably like, "Ugh, Jesus Christ, we did not."
People,
Um,
I think it's a little bit. I don't know if it's bro science. I think it's just a little bit more philosophical sort of talk, though. Because
bro philosophy.
philosophy.
Sounds like a vegetable.
I'd definitely like to dig into.
Bro, do you eat your philosophies today? Fuck yeah.
I would definitely like to dig into the evolution of how we've sort of done this to ourselves, and like looking, because you see it all the time through history, right? History kind of repeats itself. More rhymes.
Oh yeah,
it rhymes. It doesn't
absolutely.
repeat. It but we're always doing it. We're always repeating. We're always doing the same thing. We always end up back where we started all the time, and just with better technology, is it never seems to cease. It's like, when do we break the cycle, or can the cycle be broken? That's really the question. If we want to get really, if we want to leave that with a rhetorical question.
You're just like, fuck.
That was definitely an Elon Musk fucking weed moment.
Yeah, we're like. Well, anyway, so I think that wraps things up. I definitely want to sign us off before my phone just goes kaput, even though I'm still recording. But yeah, thank you for listening to this rendition of the Snooze Cast. Once again, you can find us on YouTube at the Snooze Cast. We'll be having our episodes up soon. So if you go to the channel, subscribe. It'll be empty at the moment, but I promise
our socials
stuff
down
will be
below.
coming out.
Right there.
So yeah, check out our socials down here, wherever they are at.
He's over there.
Oh yeah, cool. And yeah, and again, if you want to see some more funny videos of me doing, little skits, little kind of thingies, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at the Cult Classic 97 there, and it's gonna be interesting. We're gonna find some fun stuff. So once again, thank you for listening to the Snooze Cast.
We out.